Hello everyone, this is Vishal and now we have another session of the day that is related to your completable under the Rxjava tutorial and the basics be going on nowadays. So on my playlist you can see that the last one is we have done with the flowable. Before they we worked with the single and maybe, and the first one basics be related to your Rxjava observable. So these we have done, and today with the last one that is related to completable. These all be the types of your observables as we discussed on the first day. That's be your flowable, observable, single, maybe, and completable. That has completed all, and the last is completable, where we need it, how we can achieve these things on our projects and on apps, and where we need it on the background processes. That's the thing, and that's the scene we have to create today. So the complete table is what? Actually, if you go with the simple observable, it emits the data single items on a multiple items, and observer can catch all the things. Uh, on the other hand, if you go for that, we have a single in which the single items be success or a failure, but there is a single item emit. Maybe that means it happened or not, and the flowable that means where we need the backup pressures that we discussed uh, on my last tutorial or last session. The completable is used where we have no any items need to be emit. That means there is no emission of items on this observable side, but it's very useful because of sometimes we have to call the method on the with the background process and check that this methods be completed or not. And many times it's work with the when we use the composite kind of things, composite kind of data and multiple subscriptions with there. So I will describe you in the future. But what is simple completable? So the completable class represent deferred computations without any value but only indication for completion or exemption. That means if we have any exception be there and the completion be there, so we have to work with that. That means either your success or your failure. That means your completion or your exception. So these things we have to, and a completable behaves similarly to the observable except that it can only emit either a completion or error signal. So you can go with these definitions, or it never emit any items with there. So but it works with that kind of observable on which we have to subscribe with the error or on complete sequences. And either completes be within success or with an error event, it never emit items, the reactive versions of runnable. Okay, so if you want to work with the background process of async tasks and you want to do with that, so you just call the completable function and then you check that your function be over on the background processes. I will describe you one by one. So first, this is your, and if you want to make an interfaces, so we have three kind of methods with the observer side, that is on completed, on error, and on subscribe. Okay, so let's start it on Android Studio. It's a small session but useful session related to the completable. So what to do for that, how we can use this. So you, this is a completable, make an object with a completable, and this is your completable dot create. You have to create, and you have to create a new completable subscribe. Okay, but here if you see that this emitter dot on complete and on error disposes with that subscribe, but here I'm saying on error and on complete. Here we have no any on next method because of we never be emit the data, we just complete the data. Means here emitter have completed the data, and your completable dot observe on, check that schedulers dot your IO, and here you can say that is a subscribe, and under the observer you can use the completable observer. So you can see these three methods as we discussed on subscribe, on complete, on error. When you work with the observable, we discussed many times, there we have a on next method also, in which we can present the data, we can check the data values with there. Okay, so these all be a separate kind of sub observables, but the different areas it's need to be work and very useful with async programming, that I will show you on my coming sessions when we do the big session related to the retrofit and the Rx. If you go for that, you can also be see that my previous tutorials with the Rx Java to retrofit, but I will describe you again. So this is on subscribe, on complete, and on error. So if you say that our method be completed, you can say the tag I am using the complete. You just create your tag statically single time. I'm just choosing just a foolishness, but so here we have error, and here we have a error. Simple. Okay, so this is a complete table, and let's see what happened with this. It just showed to me that it is a complete. Okay, so that means task be completed, our function call be there. So this is the way we can use the completable process. And I will describe you how we can call our separate functions with that. You can see that this show you complete. Okay, and if you go with the any different function you want to call with the background process, so we can just make it here, just say void my function, and in this function I just simply say the log or a toast, you can say that. Yeah, yeah, this is create a new toast, and this is my function. Okay, and you have to call with this completable. You have to check that this functions be on the background process be going on or not. We just make it as an a completable dot from action. This is your new action, and here you can say that this is your observe on, and this is your schedulers dot io, and this is your subscribe, and under the subscribe you can make it a new completable observer. So that means it has completed, and just copy paste this to be here because of we need to check it has done or not. Okay, so let's see that what happened be here. So this is the background process on your action side, um, that is completable from action, new action. It is on under, it works with the, sorry, we have to call this, I'm very sorry, we have to make this my function. Okay, so that means this is your action, and under that action we have to check that it works or not with throws exception. Okay, so it's very good to check it. It's a background process be running, and here my function, and it show me complete. Okay, so after function calling it show me the completed, and if you just check that if you have an int I is equals to 0, I is less than equal to 10, we have a loop like this, and log dot d, this is your I val, and this is your I. Okay, and you have to call this function my function be here and run that. That means you run your function separately under the action. So it's very useful when we work with the MVVM approaches. You can see that my function and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and after the 10 it show me the complete. Okay, so this is the way we can work with the observable. Okay, and you have to dispose these things because of memory leak. So we have a great session in coming tutorials in which we have to work with these kind of this practically or with the web server and with the row. So that will be interesting part. Thank you so much for the day, and first you have to clear your basics related to the Rxjava. I will upload it in also be in my playlist. You can check that the Rxjava playlist be there, so you can follow that.